Hey guys, welcome to That Game Show, the show that talks about all the stuff in the nerd world and all the stuff in between. I am your host, Chase Bunker. Joining me today is the half-Asian sensation. It's Curtis Coe.
Hello, everyone.
And he's player 3. It's Daniel Clegg.
Hi, friends.
Yes, thank you guys for being on the panel, and thank you guys very much for watching, whether you're watching us on YouTube or you're listening to us via some sort of podcast thing. Thank you for making us a part of your day. Brief quick announcement, check us out at Tampa Bay Comic-Con July 31st through August 2nd. Our panel will be on July 31st at 5:30, so definitely check us out. We'll probably do some questions. We'll probably talk about a bunch of stuff as well, which, by the way, since we're going to be at Tampa Bay Comic-Con, we're not going to have an episode next week, but we will have a live recording of the show that Friday, so definitely get your tickets, check it out, come say hi. We may give you a hug. Not guaranteed, but maybe.
Well, some of us might give you a hug. I'm anti-touching, so yeah.
I might give you a hug.
He might give you a hug.
Clegg is a wild card.
Jason can give you more than a hug.
Well, let's not go that far.
Let's not go that far. let's not make too. Let's not like say I want to do too much yet. I don't want to give away like too many guarantees. First off, Antman finally came out. Kind of excited about that. My girlfriend and I went on a massive movie spree as well. So before we talk about Antman, it's like we went and watched Selfless with Ryan Reynolds before he's doing Deadpool.
Mm-hmm.
Have you guys seen the trailer for that?
See the trailer. It looks very interesting.
It is. It's very interesting. It's very trippy. Overall, it's very satisfying. I really enjoyed that. I finally caved in as if I was, I'm so anti this. I watched Minions with the girlfriend.
Right, yeah.
It's so good.
It's a funny movie.
It is. Like, have you seen it yet, Curtis?
I have not, but I know kind of what happens in it.
Yeah, like, this is kind of a spoiler, but kind of not. Like, the one scene... You've seen it, right, Clegg?
I have.
Okay. The scene where, like, oh, it's a new king, and it's a bald, jaundiced child. I thought that was hysterical. Like, Emily and I are just, like, laughing hysterically. Speaking of which, did an awesome design of me, so make sure you check that out on That News Show's Facebook page, facebook.com/thatnewsshow. I'm just going to plug, like, everything as much as I can.
She did that cartoon of you?
She did that.
Cool. That's well done.
Yeah.
My wife looked at it and said, oh, that's Chase.
Yeah.
I didn't have to point out where it came from or anything. She just knew, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah, she did a really good job. We saw that. We saw, we obviously saw Ant-Man. We also saw the Riff Tracks Live of Sharknado 2.
Ooh.
Oh my gosh.
Probably good.
Oh, it was. And it made me like, I forgot that they're making a third one, and so I'm like, it's only a matter of time. So it's like, let's just give it a month. I think it actually premieres Wednesday.
Really?
Yeah, it does.
I think it does.
I don't know if it's a joke, but I keep hearing they're going to space. Is that true?
I think that's going to be the fourth one.
Oh, okay.
I hate that they're doing this because it's like, Saw eventually knew when to stop, and which is kind of weird to say that because they're like, oh, this is the 7th one, we should probably stop. But
they are having a watch party at Armada Games.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah.
So you can go to Armada Games, which is located on 56 and Fowler, or actually it's on 56, just a little bit south of Fowler in Tampa. They are going to be providing the game room at Tampa Bay Comic-Con, so huge plug for them.
Yeah.
And watch Sharknado 3.
The premiere of Sharknado
I believe.
3. Wow,
correct me if I'm wrong. Armada Games was the same same place that we went to for Werewolf as well. Correct.
They do it for both Tampa Bay Comic-Con and they do it for what's the anime convention that's in Tampa?
Florida Anime Expo. Okay.
MetroCon.
Okay. Yeah, they were very nice to us. We had a great game of Werewolf when we were over there at their booth last year. So I don't know what they're gonna play yet, but I'm sure it's gonna be fun, entertaining. The people there are very nice. So, all those movies aside, they were all good. Like, I enjoyed all of them.
I really enjoyed Minions. It's a stupid, fun kids movie.
Oh,
but it's still enjoyable if you just enjoy animated movies at all.
I wanted to watch it because, one, like, I've wanted to see Minions for a while. Two, it gave me a little bit of a boost in my movie draft pool, which is nice. Oh, yeah,
for sure.
So,
I think it had the second highest premiere ever of an animated movie. That's
I think it's the highest.
It
did have the highest.
It had the second highest for an animated, and I think like Shrek the Third beat it. I'm like, really? That's what you lost to? Was Shrek the Third?
Wow. I mean,
still, that's really good.
Yeah.
I think it did.
Which,
like,
by the way,
200
Curtis-
billion or something.
Yeah, something like that. Pull up the stats, and I'm gonna try to stall for time because
Okay.
I know I didn't tell you this for pre-production.
no, that's fine. I have it updated now. So
Okay.
I can go ahead and stall for a couple seconds.
Okay, but like I'm watching Minions, I just thought like comparing this to Inside Out, it's like I just felt like Minions was just so much better than Inside Out.
Really?
I like Minions. Excuse me, Inside Out was creative.
Yeah.
I think
and way
Minions was
smarter.
more entertaining.
Okay, I have the stats
All right.
up.
Sweet.
What
Great
do you want to
stalling.
know? Do you want to know how much I'm spanking the rest of you?
I
Well,
want to
yeah.
know. Okay, I'm gonna assume Murph is last.
You are correct. Murph is last. He has not yet broken 500 million. He's at 456 million. These were estimates. Was the last time I updated for this week, so I don't have the exact numbers here, but their estimates weren't far off, only by about a million or so. Chase, you're in second place at 677 million. Clegg, you are in third place at 591 million.
Really? So I'm 80 behind Chase?
Yes, you
That's
are
with,
80 behind Chase.
That's with Antman?
Yep.
Damn.
Ant-Man had an okay week.
Yeah.
They did not have a stellar week.
Yeah.
It pulled 58 million, which is under what's projected. It was projected to get.
Right. I'm pretty sure that's the lowest opening for
Correct.
a Marvel movie yet. But, a 60 million weekend isn't bad. That's
No,
good for
It's
most
definitely
movies.
not bad. Like everybody that left the theater, like the theater that I went to, they were saying like it's a good film. Like they were surprised like that it's good. But granted, the people I went and saw it, they all hated it because they also just got back from Comic-Con, and so they're too psyched on all the
DC
other
stuff.
yeah,
Right.
all the other stuff. So
Right.
like this is just dog poop and garbage, but I enjoyed it.
I'm at 976 million.
Holy crap. You might hit $1 billion.
And let's see.
I'm expecting it. So
That's ridiculous.
And that's all. Like I want to know like how much of that is Jurassic World.
Jurassic World has pulled 611 million.
Oh my god. More
Yours
than
is
half.
like literally all Jurassic World.
That's not true. I have Terminator Genesis, which pulled 80 million. I had San Andreas, which pulled 150 million.
Really? That pulled 150?
Yeah. Insidious 3 pulled 50 million. Most of my movies have not gone below like 40 to 50 million.
What did Hot Pursuit give you?
Hot Pursuit gave me 34 million.
What?
Hot Pursuit.
That garbage of a film gave you that
Just
much?
for reference, Hot Pursuit gave me just 20 million under what Magic Mike has made you so far.
God, I'm really surprised about Magic
way
Mike.
less for it.
I'm really surprised about Magic Mike just because I'm really betting like the horny 40-year-old women that are going to that.
I think that they kind of just would have rented Magic Mike 1 and just called it.
No, because the same horny 40-year-old women that saw it, they got older and so dried up. But that whole point, I think I should have just estimated that. But I can't believe like that got you more.
You're gonna hit $1 billion. We let you get way too many movies, I think is the lesson learned.
Lesson learned: diversify your
assets. Well, I diversified my assets, but I'm still
you
like.
did, but your miscalculation was on Magic Mike. I think you would have done.
Well,
fine.
Magic Mike, it was one of those. Do I want Magic Mike or do I want Pixels? And I took Magic Mike, so that was one of those. Like in the end, I kind of thought Aloha was going to do a lot better.
Oh man,
But
that is so far of our grouping. That is the lowest grossing movie.
So I may
Yeah,
get the 25 mil
surprising,
bonus on that
Given
one.
who's
Yeah.
in it. All right, we haven't calculated those things yet. I don't think it'll make a difference. But yeah, you're right.
It
we haven't
won't.
calculated
No,
that.
I mean it potentially like in all honesty.
It might
I
change
think-
who's in second.
Yes, it might change who's in second. It also might change. Again, I think Murph has a couple big hitters that I'm a little scared of Pixels. I don't know why I'm scared of it, but I kind of have this strange feeling it's going to do phenomenally well.
I found out that it's now going to be in
So-
IMAX.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of bad hype, but I think that's one of those movies where I kind of just have this strange feeling people are going to have an itch to go and see it.
Well, what's funny is like somebody I saw this through Facebook, and I thought of this too, and I'm really surprised like nobody else has said it. This is literally an episode of Futurama.
Yeah.
It is.
That happened in Futurama, isn't it?
What's that?
That the whole plot of this happened in Futurama.
Yeah,
right?
it is. Pac-Man
So-
and everything, minus Pac-Man being a general. This is pretty much close to being Futurama.
Well, I mean, we'll see how it does.
Yeah.
The difference is, though, I feel like Futurama has a stronger following than Adam Sandler does at this point. I'm just putting that out there.
But
That's a tough
I don't
question.
think people will see it for Adam Sandler. I think they're gonna see it for the video game characters.
I think no.
Yeah.
You're both wrong. They're going to see it for Tyrion Lannister.
Yeah, well, he has probably
He is
the
a draw,
best-
for sure.
He has a draw.
He does.
Yeah.
He's a funny guy too.
He
so,
is.
I
And
mean,
he's a great actor as well, especially
Yes.
in Death at a Funeral he was great in, and he was also in
he's been in a couple like
he's
series.
been in a few.
Some very very serious like.
He was in X-Men.
Oh, he was. in
Yeah, he
X-Men.
was an X-Men. He
Oh,
was
that's
good at
right.
that. All right. So, Clegg, you haven't seen it. So, we're going to make sure we don't spoil this for you. All right, we're going to talk about Ant-Man for the next few minutes. So, if you haven't seen it, just, fast forward to about 5 minutes. And,
Yes, spoilers, spoilers, spoilers. We are going to talk a lot
Go
about.
away.
spoilers.
okay. So, all right, Clegg,
So I'm gonna go away.
you go
Signal
away.
me.
You go play with your cat.
I will. I will.
All right, headphones are off. Clegg, can you hear us?
Okay.
Nope.
No, he
okay,
did
cool.
not.
I'm making sure. What did you think of it?
I liked it. I really liked it, actually.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Like, it's not as good as Guardians of the Galaxy.
Correct.
Right, let's just put it out.
It's
there.
not in my top 3. It's not in my top 3.
No, it's definitely not the top 3. Just for reference, my ranking of top 3 is Avengers, the first Avengers. I tie Captain America and Guardians of the Galaxy at second, and then my fourth is Iron Man, the original.
Yeah,
And
I would
think-
say it's safe. That's a good
I
bet.
think it's lower than the original Captain America, but higher than the Thor movies. I really don't like the Thor movies.
Okay.
I'm just gonna throw that out.
I liked Dark
Um,
World. I thought the first one was okay.
I
It
thought
got
they
me
were both-
excited.
Yeah, I mean, I thought they were both okay. I didn't. I think it's a good movie. I think it's worth watching. I think it's interesting.
Yeah. It was a good movie. It did have some bad parts, like some flaws with it, where it's like, oh, I'm not gonna tell you how your mother died, and then like 5 minutes later,
Yeah.
she did this. I'm like, oh wow. So suddenly
Yeah.
you're suddenly just gonna do that, and then what was like?
There were a couple
Yeah.
pretty major flaws. I didn't buy the whole. This is a story about fathers and daughters business. I didn't
No, I
care.
did not. I did not buy that at all.
And the other part of it that, and I'm going to be mean. I think Paul Rudd was probably, in my opinion, the worst actor in the movie. And that's hard because I like Paul Rudd as an actor,
Yeah.
but I don't know if that. I kind of feel like that was a miscast.
I feel like with Paul Rudd, I don't want to say it's a miscast, but I think it's because we're so used to seeing him as that comedic role. It's like, yeah, he was sarcastic and witty, but it's hard to say, because we've said the same thing about Chris Pratt.
It's true.
And he's done phenomenal, and he's to the point
Yep.
where it's like, if there's any reboot, we should probably just cast Chris Pratt. Oh, what about Indy? Let's get Chris Pratt.
Let's get
the
Chris
Han
Pratt.
Solo movie? Let's get Chris Pratt. Let's remake Hunger Games? Chris Pratt as Katniss. It's a nice safe bet.
Yeah.
I liked Michael Douglas in the film. I kind of felt like when he said, when Michael Douglas I know a guy, I've been watching him for 2 years or a few years, blah blah blah. It's like, why did you not bail him out of jail? If you could have literally solved all your problems years from now, and so many people would still be alive because of you if you just did it now.
Yeah. I mean,
Judy Greer, I liked her. For the 2 scenes that she was in, I liked her.
Yeah.
I did like the giant ant, and I liked the whole Thomas the Tank Engine.
yes.
That was funny.
the tank. That freaking
Yes,
tank.
that was cool.
That was a really cool. I was like, what is he? And I was like, oh, I get it.
Yeah, that was brilliant. I like the heist. I like the heist aspect of it.
Yeah.
Michael Pena, I don't know how I felt about him, because there was parts that he was good, but then there's parts where just he's very, very hit or miss with me.
And the biggest problem I had with the movie is I kind of felt like the movie could have been done without Ant-Man. You know what I mean? There was no logical reason that Michael Douglas's character, Hank Pym, couldn't have used Hope. She was I mean,
Yeah. Well, I mean, the logic behind it is sound. Like, okay, I already lost my wife. I'm not gonna lose my daughter.
I know, but then like he completely 180s at the end and gives her a
Yeah.
suit.
Okay. Yeah. Let's talk about that real quick. Well, I think it's because like I don't know. Like, yeah, you're right. I don't know why it's like, oh, I don't want to lose my daughter. By the way, we made you this suit. So
Exactly. It's like she is a more competent superhero than Scott Lang will ever be, and it doesn't make any sense.
We don't want you to ride this motorcycle. By the way, your mother and I bought you this motorcycle like 5 years ago.
I mean, and I guess my favorite part of the movie, I thought Michael Douglas and Evangeline Lilly were fantastic.
Yes.
And they stole every scene they were in, and they're fantastic.
Yeah.
They chewed the scenery. I also like to give a shout out to the villain. I thought the villain was really good.
Yeah, Corey Stoll I thought was good. I didn't know how he was gonna be, but the one thing that bothered me was like when he immediately just like went insane. Yeah. And he's like, "Oh, it's the particles." Like, what particles? You haven't done anything yet.
Yeah, I mean, and that's I think Marvel's biggest weakness as a company is they don't develop long-term villains.
Yeah.
And I think that's a huge mistake.
And it's unfortunate because I feel like he actually like could have been good, but like he's not in Marvel's timeline.
Yeah.
There's no use for him like down the road unless like something happens. I mean, let's face it, this comic book they can easily write him in. Oh, he figured it out, and he's back in for Civil War. All right, let's talk about the end stuff real quick.
Yeah,
we saw that we were probably gonna get Wasp.
Yes,
which is cool because I like Evangeline Lilly even back in the days when she was on Judgment Day with Tommy Talrico and Victor Lucas. Old G4 show, yes, very dated reference. What did you think of the Captain America scene?
I have no idea what's going on in that scene. I mean, what I do? Okay, let's back up a little bit.
All right, hold on. If you're still flashing on the 5 minutes right now, go up a little bit more. So it's taking a little bit longer.
One thing I really dug is Michael Pena's story when he like talks about.
Oh my gosh, yeah,
that was hilarious, and the last one's really good. Just because like. Just because everybody's selling it because they're like, oh my god, and they're like, and I want to know what happens. I want to know why they can't go to Tony Stark. Why do they need this other guy to come in and do something? And I mean, you know, he showed he was competent in a fight. I mean, he did beat Falcon. Poor Falcon gets beaten by everybody.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I liked him. I thought they were good setups. I particularly like Hope's answer to getting a suit. It's like about damn time.
Yeah. Her and LeBron James have something in common.
Yeah.
But I liked I thought it was really cool. Like you see Bucky in the Vice.
Yeah.
I think like the reason that they said, "Oh, we can't go to Tony," is because like you don't see the trust between Captain America and Iron Man. And you saw that in the second Avengers.
Yes.
And now you're seeing it start to grow, and now he's going to be taking. He's going to try to take more of a leadership role of it because of that. I'm very excited for Civil War.
I am too.
I think that's
though.
What's that?
I'm a little worried.
I am too. Because
go ahead.
Because I know that like in one of the story arcs like something happens, and I'm really interested to see like if they're going to do. You know what I'm talking about too.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that happen in Civil War. There's a lot of really bad things that happen to Civil War. And I think it's pretty safe to say that the one that Civil War is probably most famous for is probably going to happen.
Yeah, and I don't want it to because
I do.
Well, yeah, because I love. I'm going to try to say this. Like we're talking about spoilers for Antman. We're not going to talk about spoilers for Civil War yet, because I love that character and what the actor of that character has done for that role. I'm going to try to be as vague as possible. I don't want to see that character go, but it might happen to that character.
I think it's an important thing to happen in the Marvel universe because it proves that they're willing to make those kind of sacrifices.
Yeah.
So, and I think it's a good, throw to the comics and so on and so forth. So I hope they do it.
I hope they do as well. All right. So you said Ant-Man was below Captain America, the first one. Higher than Thor's. Better than Iron Man 2 and 3?
Yes, I would. Well, I liked Iron Man 3.
I thought it was alright.
I think it's better than. I'm gonna be mean. I didn't like Age of Ultron all that much. I think it's better than Age of Ultron.
Age of
So,
Ultron, it's a different movie.
Yes,
you
it
can't
is.
go in if you go in expecting it to be Avengers 1, you're gonna be really disappointed.
Yeah, there was something about it that didn't quite last with me, and I guess that's why I just don't.
It's a
think
build-up movie. That's all it
Yes,
really.
it
It is
is.
to me. I look at it the same way I look at. Granted, I've never seen any of them, so this could be a really horrible example. I look at it as like the part one of like the Harry Potter or like Breaking Dawn or Hunger Games movies, where like it's building up to
I
this climatic finish.
I think maybe the correct way to say that is it's like Mockingbird Part 1.
Mockingjay?
Or, yeah,
Yeah.
or like the Harry Potter Deathly Hallows Part 1.
Yeah,
Where it's leading to something greater, but it doesn't, by itself, it doesn't really make
exactly. Yes, that's the whole like. There had a little bit of something. We're gonna bring in new Avengers, but right now this isn't gonna be in the big picture. We're gonna make this little build up movie. This is all plot development to a much bigger movie. All right, we'll get back Clegg. But yeah, I enjoyed it, and so it's a really good movie. Definitely go check out Antman. So, and that's what happens. Oh darn! I was about to say something like shocking that wasn't even true with Ant-Man, and just be like, and I think the horse in that movie was spectacular. Hey, Clegg.
What?
Yes.
So we like the movie. It's good.
Yeah.
I should go see it.
Yes.
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 We
Definitely.
just for reference, so we ranked it. I ranked it higher than Age of Ultron
That's
personally,
what a lot of people are saying. Surprisingly.
but I would say it's lower than Guardians of the Galaxy and Captain America.
Yeah, it's not my top 3.
Yeah, it's not, and I would say it's a little bit less than Iron Man, the original. So
Okay.
Where would you like out of your like? You said it was below the first Captain America.
yeah,
Where do you put the first Captain America? Is that like
put
number
it-
5?
yeah, it's like number 5 for
Okay.
me. Yeah, I like Captain America a lot, but I think
Yeah.
just because Iron Man was the first is why
Oh,
it's a
yeah.
little bit higher.
Yeah.
So
all right.
actually, I don't know. Captain America might be a better movie. I don't know. I have to think about
It'll be a tough call, and I'm sure like once we watch one of them again, it'll just be like, oh yeah, this is
Yeah.
actually a lot better. All right,
Yeah.
game time. We're gonna do another round of name that game because we're not creative and think of other stuff, so we're just gonna milk this teat until this one gets bad. I have a game. My goal is to at least get you guys past 10.
We've been doing it twice in a row.
I know.
I want a three-peat.
No 3-peat.
I want a three-peat.
No. Curtis, you start.
Okay. What do you think? Generation probably first.
Yeah, sure. Let's try
Okay.
to establish a time period.
Did the game come out in the Xbox, PS2, and GameCube era?
This game did not come out at that time.
Okay, this is
Wow.
including, just for reference, that time frame. It would also encompass PC games that came out during that time.
Correct.
Okay, just making sure we're on the same page.
Did it come out before that?
Say that again.
Did it come out before?
It did not come out before.
Okay, so it's newer. Is this in the era of PS3, Xbox 360, etc.?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Is this a console or PC game?
Oh no. Rephrase that question.
Well, I don't want it to be a mobile game.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
That's
it is on the console.
Okay.
And just for note, I will never do a mobile game.
Mobile game.
Oh, so we're not going to do Angry Birds?
No,
anytime?
Angry. What other mobile games? There's Angry Birds, Cut the Rope, and then Flappy Bird. And there's your
Well,
main
this-
3.
Temple Run.
Freeze.
Oh, Doodle
Yeah,
Jump.
threes. Yeah. Anyways, we're not
okay.
gonna.
We're not gonna do that. 5th question, Curtis.
Okay, so we have established that it is on consoles. Is that correct? Is that consoles and PC? Do we encompass, or do we say it's consoles?
It's either or. We don't
We
know
said
yet.
it was on. We said it was on a console. You never
Okay.
asked if it was on a PC.
Okay, just making sure. Is this a exclusive game?
No.
No.
Okay.
Okay, it was multi-platform. That's an important point.
Is this a shooter?
Yes.
Okay, it is a shooter. It is multi-platform. It came out in the PS3, Xbox 360 era. It is what was a shooter that was multi-platform.
Any of the Call of Duties, Battlefield games. Let's see if it's a
Likely.
franchise, maybe.
Unlike, I feel like he wouldn't go for a franchise though. Like the middle game of a franchise seems unlikely. So it is a shooter. I think we should figure out: is it a sci-fi shooter?
Define.
Science fiction.
Okay, let's
Okay.
make sure we define it.
So, futuristic, not of this time period. It's featuring some sort of technology that is currently unavailable.
Yes, it is sci-fi.
Okay.
Okay.
But there was a pause there, so that might have modern elements in it.
Yeah. I mean, you kind of assume it's a multiplayer game, but I suppose there were some that weren't.
Could be a single player game. There were definitely some in the PS3. Okay, so let's talk about the ones that it can't be. It can't be Killzone.
Mm-hmm.
It can't be Halo because Halo was
Halo
was technically multi-platform. Actually, are we including? But are we considering
Halo
PC
2
as?
That's another platform. Yeah.
I think we need to know if the second was it on two of the major consoles, like for instance Xbox 360, PS3.
I think it's most likely that it was.
Yeah, I think that's definitely possible.
Mm-hmm.
This is a famous game, correct? This is not.
Yes. This isn't going to be
what all
like
these are.
Enslaved or anything.
Okay. Whose turn is this? Your turn or my turn?
I think it's mine.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Cleggs.
Was this released on both consoles and PC?
Yes.
Okay, so it's on 3 platforms at least.
Okay, so it is a shooter. It is on. We need to know: is this a game in a franchise?
Yes.
Is this
Yeah.
Let me phrase that, if you don't mind.
Okay.
Is it? Would it be considered a? I'm trying to word this properly. The first game in a franchise.
It is not the first game in a franchise.
Okay,
That's exactly.
so that makes me think it's either let's name the big shooting franchises: Call of Duty, Battlefield, Battlefront.
The Battlefront was not on 360.
It wasn't.
No,
Yeah, it was.
It was on Xbox. Battlefront 2 was on Xbox. It was not on 360.
Curtis is
Really?
correct on that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's too old. It can't be that one. It can't be Killzone. It can't be Halo. It can't be Resistance was
one
also
of the
PlayStation exclusive.
BioShock games.
It could be BioShock. BioShock Infinite was out on 360 and
PS3.
PS3.
Yeah. Okay.
But is that really science? Well, it could be science fiction.
That's sci-fi. They got things there
Yeah.
that we don't have. They got floating cities.
But yeah, I mean that's a good point. It could also just be the original. It wasn't the original BioShock because it wasn't the first in the game in the series.
We asked if it was the first in the game, and
Yes,
it was not.
I specifically asked if it was the first in the franchise.
And it was or was
It
not.
was not.
Okay.
But it depends on if sidebar,
Okay.
just for would you consider BioShock, like, because technically it's based on System Shock, would you consider that the first game in a series?
I look at BioShock like as the first one of its kind because ideally different title, but yeah.
Okay, I'm just double checking that
Yeah.
that's how you were.
Yeah.
Whose go is it?
It's yours.
It is yours.
It's mine. Okay, so we know it's sci-fi. It's not the first game in a series. It's okay. Here's an interesting question, and you can answer this in however you choose to. Again, it would probably be a yes or no question. Is this game incredibly graphically unique? Like, is it cell shaded? Is it a game that the graphics I would
Are not
know
realistic.
You would know very quickly by the graphics or the overarching visual style? It's that.
That's
game.
a question. Like,
Let me explain what I'm trying.
I
to
think
ask.
I know where you're. I think I kind of know what you're trying to get at.
You know how if I were to just take a brief look, and this might offend some people, at Call of Duty or Battlefield, I wouldn't necessarily be able to instantly pick out it's a Call of Duty game or a Battlefield.
But if
game.
it was like 13 or
But
something with cell shaded,
13
okay.
or
Borderlands.
or Borderlands.
It is
or-
not graphically recognizable.
Okay,
Graphically
it is
unique.
not
That is your 10th question, free for all.
That is
Oh crap!
I beat the.
He did.
Granted, unless you
He did.
want to guess right now.
I don't. I don't have enough information to guess. Oh,
It
well,
could be
sci-fi, right?
right.
So,
Could it
sci-fi
be one of the Dead Space games.
it's not first person. Did you ask it as a shooter or a first
Shooter.
Shooter.
It could be the Dead Space game, but the problem with that is he would most likely pick the first one because it is the most famous of them.
Yeah, but he said it's not the first one, so it would have to be the second, which
I know.
also came out on those old platforms.
Yes, well, no, didn't the first Dead Space come out on 360? I think, and it
Mm.
also Dead Space.
All the Dead Spaces came out on the PS3, Xbox 360, PCs,
360.
that whole.
So I mean, it could be that, but it's unlikely he would say, "Oh yeah, I picked Dead Space 2."
All right, so maybe we try to nail down the genre a little more. We know it's a shooter. Do we want to go after
We
whether
know
it's a
it's-
horror shooter or a?
Okay, we know it's not terribly visually distinct, which is an important indication.
Throws out Borderlands.
We also know that we don't know if it's first person or not, so I think that has to be the next question. Is this a
Okay.
first person shooter?
Yes.
It is a first person shooter. I assumed it was, but so it has sci-fi elements in it.
Maybe it's steampunky too.
Yeah, I mean that's possible. What steampunky games are there?
I put BioShock in that category.
I think we might be falling into a trap with that visual question. So I would.
You've activated my trap card.
Yeah, I think that might be a tricky one. So I'm going to try to think outside the box on that one.
All right. You are 10 questions left, by the way.
Okay,
Does this game feature aliens?
No.
that's a good question. It does not.
No
feature
aliens. It throws out Gears of War.
Okay, that's actually also first person. Remember, it is a first person shooter.
Oh shoot, you're right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
okay.
that would throw that out. But that's
No
a good,
aliens.
that's a good indication.
It's probably wartime then. World War One, World War Two.
Okay. Does the majority of the game take place in a city?
Yes.
Okay, so it's a city game. It's sci-fi elements. It's first person. Okay, I think I might have an idea here.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Is the main point of the game not shooting? Okay, let me rephrase that in a different way. Is the main character an Asian? Female?
No.
Okay.
The main character is not a female Asian.
I was thinking.
Were you thinking Mirror's Edge?
I
But
was like,
but it's not the first game in the series, and number 2 isn't out yet.
oh, you're right. Gosh, that was a dumb question.
Okay.
That is a good guess, though.
Yeah, but it was the first game of the series.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a terribly good.
All right, but
guess.
thematically, it was in the right direction.
This
This is hard. Okay, so what else could we narrow down? Do we want to narrow down time period further? Like, is this
Okay,
a World War
Takes
game?
place. Oh, okay. I think I have another one. Okay. Here's a good question. Does this have to do with cyborgs?
Yes.
Okay, I already know what it is.
Wait, define cyborg.
Cyborgs, people who augment themselves
Yes.
through machinery.
Is
Okay.
this one of the Deus Ex games?
I think it's probably one of the Deus Ex games. It's not the first one. It definitely came out this generation. It's a famous game.
Is that the
But hold on,
Revolution one?
time out. It could also be Crisis. It could also be
I
Crisis.
thought of that, but I
But they
think
fight
it's-
aliens. They fight
yeah,
aliens.
exactly. So I think it's
Okay.
Deus Ex.
You think it's Deus Ex? I think we can. We can just ask, right? So,
Yeah.
I mean,
Uh huh.
it's fifth question. Is it Deus Ex: Human Revolution?
Yes, it is.
Awesome.
And like I was about to
I
drop
thought-
Crisis as well when he's like, it's not one of those games where you can look at it and go, oh, it's so beautiful, it has to be Crisis.
Yeah, and that's a good point. Like, I don't think at first look I would have guessed it's a Deus Ex game.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can see that.
Deus
It
Ex.
has the realistic graphics.
Yes.
But, they're trying to be
got-
realistic.
It's got that dirty kind of city feel.
Deus
to it.
Ex: Human Revolution, cyberpunk-inspired game that took place in the year 2027. So yes, it does have sci-fi futuristic elements to it.
Right.
Came out on the Xbox 360, PS3, and PC. Also, they had the director's cut that came out on the Wii U as well.
Okay.
Yeah. When did it come out? It came out on.
Wait.
In Europe, it came out on my birthday.
When did that come out? What year?
2011.
Ago.
2011.
Just a few years ago.
Yep,
Jeez.
just a few years ago. And it's funny. It's like I bought it on 2 platforms. Like I have it on PS3, but it's like I don't play it on PS3. But like if it's on PC, I know that I'll play it more.
So, just for reference, those of you who haven't checked out Human Revolution, make sure you pick up the director's cut. It is a better version of the
That's
game.
what I've heard.
Yeah.
Does it contain more missions or?
There were
Content?
boss fights that you had to fight, like physically fight, like, and the director's cut. Apparently, they made some changes where you can basically do the fights in a different way by hacking in some other different ways.
Yeah.
Oh, instead of
So-
I know that game is all about your playstyle. You can sneak, you can
Correct.
fight, you can
Correct.
hack.
So
I see.
it kind of gives you other options, and it was always kind of a sticking point for the
Yeah. Speaking of games you need to pick up, I recently just bought. Granted, it's gonna be backwards on the video feed, but whatever. Tales of Symphonia Chronicles for the PlayStation 3. Originally, Tales of Symphonia came out on the GameCube, and it was one of like the 5 games that we were looking forward to on the GameCube. So if you had a GameCube, this is one of the 5 games you could actually look forward to. The first one's a lot of fun. They apparently made a sequel of it, and that's what it consists of: the game and its sequel that came out on the Wii.
That's cool.
Yeah, and so I'm excited. I'm definitely gonna try it out. But like, I stopped. Like, I was about to put it in, but then I realized I still have Max Payne that I have to beat. And like, Curtis gave me that game for my birthday like 2 years ago, and I've been like off and on with it since. And I'm just like, oh, that's right, I need to beat this.
Everybody has that one game where they're like, I really need to beat this game, and they
Yeah.
haven't.
Well, that's
I mean,
half my Steam library, pretty
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
Who can't beat every game they have? That's
I know.
ridiculous.
Somebody, not
Shows
anyone.
a lack of discipline.
I mean, what was it? Our friend Ben came over. He came over to my place for a little bit. I looked at his Steam library. I'm like, oh, how is this? I don't know. And like, that's like half the games. Like, granted, I can't say anything because I'm looking at half my stuff.
Can't either.
Yeah.
Why'd you pick up this game? It was on sale.
Exactly.
I don't want to lose money on this.
Well, here's
so-
the funny thing. Like, I just got this. I saw, like, I opened up Steam and I got a coupon for 75% off Dawn of War 2, the Warhammer 40K game. But I'm like, I have all of them. It's like, you should recognize this, Warhammer, that you saw that I have every one of your Dawn of War expansions, and yet you give me this coupon that, oh, get more. Like, really?
Oh, see, it's good, Chase, at least that you remembered that you own
Yeah.
them all. Because in some cases, it's really bad where you say, "Oh, what Gears of War is on sale for 75% off? Oh, I own this."
Yeah, the one time Clegg was like, "Hey, have you heard of this game? It's really awesome. It sounds really awesome. I think I'm gonna buy it." I said, "Clegg, it's in your library."
It's in your library already. I got that for you 2 years ago or something.
Yeah, and you're like, "What?" And then you check your like he checks his queue and he has like 5 games sitting there. He's like,
I still need to play War of the North. Like,
"Oh yeah,
that
we
is
should
a
get
good
back
game.
to that."
I heard
one.
that's
was a
good.
one.
I heard that's fun. I'm still trying to convince Ben to play Indigo Prophecy.
Hey, see, those games are like it's like Heavy Rain. It's a
Yeah.
it's a huge time investment.
It is.
And that's where I've gone astray on Heavy Rain is I need to make an investment. And luckily I have my summer vacation coming up, so I can make that investment.
Yeah.
After you guys come in.
Yes.
Go.
Oh, that'll be
'Cause I need
fun.
to clean
I
the
thought
house.
about bringing this because it's 4-player,
It is.
and
So-
so
Oh,
Five,
I'm
it's gonna be
planning
fun.
on bringing the Wii U and getting some time in on Mario Kart.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Super Smash at least.
yeah.
That'll be fun.
Well, there's 5 of us. That's the bad part about that.
I'll sit out. It's fine. We'll do trades.
Yeah.
It's all good.
We still need
see.
to also finish Ratchet and Clank all for one.
It's true.
Because like we're close to the end, so it's like
It's true.
one person may sit out, but it won't be for long.
Yeah, but we got to be careful about that.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Well- well-
on a completely different.
On a completely different subject. I said we're gonna talk about this on Twitter, and I did. Also, I said we'll talk about Evo for a little bit. Evo's going on. There, I mentioned it. I made the joke the other day, and I'm gonna piss off a few people. Like, Chase, why don't you do Evo at all? It's like, because I haven't mastered the art of advanced button mashing.
Oh.
Bam!
Boy.
I'll offend shooters. I I can offend any league or any other like popular game later. It's like, I mean, we can. Let's face it. Like, we played all the games. We know what.
Those people. I will say I have a mad respect for people that can do well in fighting games because that's just. But it's not fun to play against you guys.
No, it's not.
It's not.
No, I'm not gonna. I'm not kidding when I say this. When the first Mortal Kombat came out, like the new updated Mortal Kombat, when that came out, I went to GameStop and I participated in a tournament. Curtis, you can verify this. I've never played a single Mortal Kombat game in my life.
Not to my knowledge.
And so like I played the game for about maybe 5 minutes before the tournament started, and I got to the semifinals, and I lost to the guy that won. So it's like.
But you actually have this thing where you can look at button combos and remember them.
This is also very true. I have useless knowledge.
And that's the thing for me, at least, is in certain games, like, we used to play Smash Brothers a lot at your parties.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember this. Yeah. But I was on the lower tier of that, how good I was in Smash Brothers. And, man, some of those people that you had over the party were disgusting at Smash Brothers. And it was just not fun to play against those people.
Yeah, because, I got better at Smash Brothers because I kept playing my friend Gabriel, and, like, him and his brother were, like, the best at it. And it was like, this is disgusting, like, how good you are at this game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, there is something literally to be said about getting too invested in the meta of any game. If you are on the pro scene and you are so used to the typical strategies people have in a fighting game or in really any game like Hearthstone or whatever, you're so used to what the good players do that when you see something different, like a total noob coming in and just button mashing the hell out of something, it totally throws you for a loop for a quick second.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, that's like, we could say this because we were on a competitive team for a number of years, like playing multitude of games. We were always the team that like tried to break meta. We never really had, like, we said, F the police, and we just did our own little thing. And for a while it worked. But like, granted, it was Dota, and then I held you guys back greatly.
It wasn't necessarily. It was before we really understood what meta was either. I think that's I mean, the meta was already there. This was on the original Dota back in when it was a Warcraft 3 mod.
Back in high school.
Yeah, back in high school. That'll tell you how old that was when I had hair still.
Yeah.
So,
please, you started balding at 14.
No, I started balding at 18. Thank you very much. My senior year of high school, I started saying, I'm starting to lose a little bit of hair up here. But regardless, there is something to be said for meta, and there is something to be said for button mashing, and I will never be able to beat a pro in a fighting game, so I'm not even gonna try.
Well, I'm pretty sure granted, unless we like play the game enough times, like we can never beat a pro in anything. The only one that we maybe, but we haven't played it in so long is Unreal Tournament. That's the one that we could probably maybe.
I don't think we could scratch by on that anymore.
Not anymore.
I just played online like maybe 2 months ago, and I got I got it handed to me. Like, all up and down the street. I have forgotten how to play that game, and I do not have the finger strength that I used to for that game.
Yeah. You've lost the twitch.
I know. I saw like
Go ahead.
I saw like a game trailer for like this like Minecraft looking arena battle shooter, and it's like I looked at it like, all right, cool, this is fast. Like, I don't know if I want to get back into this.
It's a younger person's game. It really is.
I think
that just sounds so
screw
old.
you, Clay, for saying that. But like, because we all know that if Unreal Tournament, like if Epic came out and said we're gonna redo Unreal Tournament, it's gonna come out and it's gonna be the same fast-paced thing, we're gonna get back into that.
Well, they've already said that. They're doing a new Unreal, aren't they? Coming out like next year or the year after that?
I'm not gonna fully say oh yeah, next year, because let's face it, like Unreal Tournament 2007 eventually became Unreal Tournament 3 for a reason.
Right, sure. Delays are a
thing.
So,
speaking of games that are gonna be coming out, this was a trending topic as well. Shenmue saved. Shenmue, even though I don't know why we're celebrating it now, because after like the first 20 minutes, it got funded. But Shenmue 3 has now officially been, the Kickstarter has officially ended with $6.3 million donated to the fund. Yeah.
I think that makes it the highest funded video game on Kickstarter ever.
Well, I mean,
ever.
I look at this and like, I want to ask you guys this. At what point, like, do you think this like developer or executives got it wrong and thinking, oh, nobody's gonna play this, but now like people were excited, or like how is this game being funded by crowdfunding, but it's not but it didn't get the publisher funding that it should have gotten?
Mm-hmm.
We'll start off with Clegg.
How long has it been since the previous
The
entry
last
in the
one
series?
came out on the original Xbox.
Yeah.
I think did Shenmue 2 also come out on the Dreamcast? I can't remember.
Shenmue 1, I believe.
Was it Dreamcast?
I'll look this up.
I
I'll
think
look it
that's
up. I'll
part
look
of
it
your
up.
answer right there. It's been so long since the last entry in the series. An executive will look at it and say, well, there's probably a reason why they didn't make another one. And just cut it from there. You know, you're looking for a new IP, or you're looking for what is established and what works. So when you dump $30 million into development, you're gonna be guaranteed to get a good payout for it.
Yeah.
Right? It's just a risk.
I mean, I think it was risk calculation as well. I agreed with Clegg. And we talked a little bit about this. I think the
Real quick, Shenmue 1 and 2 were on the Dreamcast. Shenmue 2 was on the Xbox.
Yeah, that's a real long time ago.
But actually, it was on the Dreamcast in Japan and Europe. It never saw Dreamcast light of day in America.
Okay. I mean, and the good thing about Shenmue 3 eventually coming out is it is a beloved series, and I think there is not really a game series like it. It's a very slice of life type game mixed with some fighting game stuff and some other stuff. And it's an interesting game. I remember playing Shenmue 2. It was really interesting. I never really quite got far enough into it to really have the same, admiration as everybody else does for it. But, it's never bad to have something that, the gamepad community is missing. Why not, right?
Yeah.
I think it's a great thing that the community around this game really showed their teeth and got it going, right? That's a great thing. But we talked about this a couple weeks ago. I still think it's weird how a big developer is using Kickstarter to, I don't know, in one respect gauge interest, which is great, but in other ways sort of
pre-order.
Pre-order. That's essentially what it is. Right?
Yeah.
That's what Kickstarter is in its entirety. Is you're pre-ordering, but it's one more instance of that, and that just rubs a lot of people the wrong way.
Especially when
you.
Yeah.
Well, most recently, Batman. Things just don't always work out the way you hope to.
Arkham Watch, real quick. Clegg, is it playable?
I will tell you next week because I have a new graphics card. I did not get a chest for Batman.
So. Yeah, you did.
I did not.
Lie.
I did not.
You got it for Witcher 3, didn't you?
Exclusively, it was also for Witcher 3.
For Witcher 3, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So I'll let you know once I've given it a shot.
Okay. The one thing that it's kind of surprises me because I didn't know this as well. I watched this from watching a Brutal Moose video where he talks. He loves the Myst series, and so apparently the developers of Myst also kickstarted a game called Obstruction or
I don't know.
It's something like that, but it's like abduction or obstruction. I'll look that up for me real quick. But you're seeing former game developers make spiritual successors to games like Mighty Number 9, like Banjo-Kazooie, or Mighty Number 9 with Mega Man, with Banjo-Kazooie, Yooka-Laylee, and Banjo-Kazooie, etc. And it's kind of surprising to see now. It's maybe I don't know if it's they're capitalizing on millennials being so nostalgic, but
well, I think everybody is. Just for reference, it is abduction.
Abduction, okay.
Obductio.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Abduction.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a brand new platform, right? Previously, this wasn't even an option where you could aid in the development of a game by opening up your wallet months or maybe even years before it comes out, right?
Yeah.
So it's a cool thing. It's just it continues the trend of pre-ordering for something and giving them money before the final product is delivered, and its authenticity and value has been tested and
also
reviewed.
Amplitude being another one as well. That
I'd like to make a point on what Clegg just said there about quality and not knowing what you're going to get, and I think. We talked about this a little bit before the show. There's a Kickstarter for a game called Red Ash, which is supposed to be a spiritual successor to Mega Man Legends. And it's made by the same people who are making Mighty Number 9, but it's not doing very well.
Why is that?
The Kickstarter's not doing well?
The Kickstarter's having some trouble. They're about 55% and they have about 16 days left. And my argument is the reason that they're having problems is people are not 100% sure about the quality of Mighty Number 9. And I think that's a issue is if you keep on coming back and saying, I want to make this, and I want to make this, and I want to make this, but you haven't put out that first game to say, hey, we can do this. We have the capabilities to do this. We
Right,
delivered, like, for instance, Pillars of Eternity with Obsidian. I would happily freaking fund anything they want to try next because that game is fantastic, and they delivered on what they said they were going to deliver.
Mm-hmm.
But Mighty Number 9, we haven't seen what the final product is.
Yeah.
I mean, what if it's terrible?
That is
Right
that
now?
is very true. It's weird for a company to come out and say, "Hey, we're gonna make this." It's like, well, your first game isn't even out yet, so we can't
Exactly.
fully, like it's like Playtronic saying like, "Oh, we're gonna make a sequel to Jet Force Gemini." It's like, well, you haven't finished Yooka-Laylee yet, so
Exactly.
like let's
Right.
let's wait and see.
Ride the coattails of one game at a time.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
If your Mighty Number 9 does fantastically, then start the next one
Absolutely.
and ride that one. Say, yeah, you guys love the first game we made. No reason you won't love this new one, right?
Yeah.
And that's like the perfect example of how to use the popularity of your game. Now, my concern is they put it out pretty quickly. You know, I mean, Mighty Number 9 got funded a while ago, but it is strange to me that they're already doing another Kickstarter for a completely separate game when they might not be done
Yeah.
with.
That
don't know.
is very true.
I'll see.
We'll end with one quick speculation. By the way, gonna promote a Kickstarter real quick. My friend AJ is doing a movie called Pseudo Man. Check out the trailer. Check out the Kickstarter. It's a very unique idea. Definitely check it out as well.
Cool.
Let's see. The next game, or the next cult classic franchise to be kickstarted,
Cult classic.
or
Franchise.
or like the
Well,
next game that you think will probably be like the quote spiritual successor.
Spiritual successor of a game that, let's see. So we have to probably think about what games were around that are not around now.
Yeah.
Anymore, right?
More. And I mean, the platformers are pretty easy fodder for that.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to go with something a little weird here, but I'm going to say that something. Well, this actually already happened, so never mind. I can't do that. I was going to say F-Zero, but they already kickstarted a game that was basically a spiritual successor to
What's
F-Zero.
that?
Oh, they did.
I don't remember. It was something very strange. I'm pretty sure they kickstarted it. It was like a cross between F-Zero and what was it? Wave
Race?
As in
something? Wave Race.
Captain Falcon. FC.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
I mean, it wasn't the original developers. They just said, you know, there is a lack of this game, and here's this game.
Of uber fast.
Exactly.
racer.
I just remember playing F-Zero GX. I'm like, holy crap, this thing is
Oh
fast.
man, that gave me migraines. That game, you could not blink on that game,
Yeah.
or you would die. It was, oh man.
Those. Do you guys
You know-
remember Knights on the Dreamcast?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
I do remember that one.
That was a good game. I wish they would bring that one back.
They brought it back for the Wii, I
I
believe.
think so. Wii U.
They did?
I think it was bad though. I don't believe it was a good.
I think it got like
Was
70s.
it called Knights?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I
Yeah, Curtis
didn't know
looked
about
up for
that.
me the reviews, but
I
yeah.
will.
One of the games that I keep thinking of is that we're not going to get the game, but I think we're going to get the spiritual successor of it is probably Beyond Good and Evil 2.
Yeah,
You're probably going to
yeah.
see a Beyond Good and Evil. I would hope that we would get a Metal Arms, but I have a feeling we're never going to get it.
No, I wouldn't bet money on it.
Um,
I'm gonna throw a weird one. I think we're gonna start seeing beat 'em ups show up on Kickstarter. Things like old school Streets of Rage or Golden Axe, or if you guys have no idea what I'm talking about, it's that one where you hit like one button and it
yeah,
like, just
almost
punches
like
people.
like all the Ninja Turtle games, essentially.
The
I was
Ninja
just
Turtle.
thinking Turtles in Time. I
A
love
better
that game.
example is probably Simpsons, the
Yeah.
arcade game.
Scott Pilgrim game.
X-Men, Scott Pilgrim, and the X-Men game for the
Yeah.
so on and so forth. Those kind of games, there's been a lack of that. I mean, I'd love to see a couple 3D one of those. That would be really cool. So,
I could see those.
yeah.
I'd play if they did a. I don't know if you stick with the old pixelated graphical style, you know, for nostalgia's sake. A lot of people do, but if they did an updated Turtles in Time game, I think that'd be pretty
That'd
sweet.
be cool.
That was one of the staples of my childhood, was playing that game.
I have a feeling you could like this is going to be very out there. I have a feeling that you could probably see people from Iguana Games and make a new Turok successor.
I doubt that. I don't think there's enough want for it. You know what I mean? Like, when was the last time? I mean, Turok 2 is probably the last successful. Can we agree on that? Or wait, did they make Turok 3 on
They
the
did
N64?
make they did make Turok 3, Shadow of Oblivion, and then after that they did Turok Evolution for the GameCube, and I think that was a different company.
My concern with that is there are games out there that are just straight up survival games that have kind of already filled that niche. Like, I didn't like the game, but a lot of people really like that game.
Ark.
Ark, dinosaur one.
The dinosaur one, I think that's filling that niche already. It's got bows, it's got spears, you can go all the way up to firearms and all that jazz.
Right. I feel like the bigger question is what genre is going to be next, because clearly survival is the current hotness. Right?
Yeah.
Maybe
Space Sim
maybe zombies was before that.
Space Sim was a big one, at least on Kickstarter, where two games got seriously funded. It was Star Citizen. And Elite Dangerous were the two that got insanely funded.
Why does Elite Dangerous sound familiar to me?
It's on Steam. It's on there. It's a pretty popular space sim.
Okay.
RPGs are always hot. Like old RPGs are always.
It kind of has to die out first and then come back for it to be relevant.
I'm kind of glad that zombies is slowly.
It's getting out of both movies and video games.
I'm glad because it seems like every other game was zombies related, and it's like,
first it was vampires, and then it was zombies. And
I'd be okay with going back to like old school vampires and doing like a vampire hunter game where you have to hunt vampires.
Yeah, something along the lines of like a Hunter the Reckoning, even.
I would be totally okay with
that's one you could probably see.
Compels
my gosh.
I love that game.
That was a
actually,
game.
there is a spiritual successor to that game, and it is coming out on the PC. I need to check up on it, but it's taking place in like the 1930s or something.
Okay.
And it was a spirit, and I think it's on the PC, and I think it's online multiplayer.
Okay.
So
nice.
We'll have to look into that.
But it's just like not even like it has to be like old vampires, but like Victorian. Like Victorian demonic game, like almost like nightmare creatures or like
or wolves, anything.
Yeah, like a Castlevania-esque. I mean, I guess we're kind of getting with Bloodstained, but it's like
Bloodstained. Yep.
Just like that whole like time period. It's such a creepy time, but it's like it's the most ideal for like a game like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it calls back to the fact that no one can hear you scream. You know what I mean? Like, in modern era, we have cell phones, we have these other things, right?
Yeah.
But in Victorian era, if you got driven up to a, Victorian mansion that is in the middle of nowhere and you have no way of getting out, it's miles and miles away.
You are screwed.
Well, yeah, and I mean, there's that fear, that just innate horror.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So.
I feel like we could like. There's always one of those like things that like I don't know if you guys do this. I feel like the horror genre is a little bit diluted and everybody relies on jump scares. So, like I feel like I can like with the whole Victorian time, like I always like picture like you just not even like if you getting abducted into the castle and just like trying to escape it instead of going in and fighting, you're trying to escape it. And so like I'm trying to think of like ideas like that.
It's kind of Amnesia-esque.
Yeah.
Where you're in this house trying to figure out what's going on and how to get out.
Yeah.
I actually think that would be a pretty fantastic pen and paper game too.
Yeah.
That would be pretty fun to do.
Our next D&D campaign.
Yeah. Maybe. Who knows?
Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
How are you guys doing in that, by the way?
They are creeped out at the moment in a creepy cavern.
Did you think of a good? Is my character dead?
No, because like if you ever want to come back, you just like you're there.
Okay. Yeah.
The way I explain it is it's like temporary amnesia where everybody just forgets about you for X amount of time, and then you show up, you're like, oh, you were here the whole time.
Yeah. Like
it just. Yeah.
I play flag football usually on Mondays, and so like that's usually the day that they do Dungeons and Dragons. So there's a period of time where they're like, "Oh, we're not actually going to do football for about a few months." And I'm like, "All right, cool." So I'll get back into it. Actually, we're starting next week. Well, that was fun while it lasted.
Well, I mean, that happens. I mean, everybody has their little things they have to do, and
So, all right, that will be it for today's show. Thank you guys very much for watching it, whether you're watching us on YouTube or some other video platform, or you're listening to us via podcast. Thank you for making us a part of your day. Check out our Facebook page, facebook.com/thatnewshowshow. You can follow me on Twitter @ChaseBunker, or you can follow the show on Twitter @that_game_show. Check us out at Tampa Bay Comic-Con, July 31st through August 2nd. Our panel will be at the 31st at 5:30, but stay for the whole show. There'll be a lot of cool people there. Another quick announcement. I'll probably make another video about this, but starting August 1st, will be Vlogust for the channel, where I'm going to be posting a vlog video every day for the month of August, and so that will be kind of interesting and kind of cool, because let's face it,
That's cool.
I need more content on this channel besides this show, and my Let's Plays suck. So, I tried Shadow Warrior, and at one point I'm looking, like, you've played the first 5 minutes of it, right?
I have almost beaten it.
Okay, as I'm looking through like the footage, I say the lines, and it sounds horrible, and I didn't mean to make it sound horrible. I said, gotta get the typical Asian voice, and it's like, I meant to say Asian master, and it's like, well,
man.
this video's not going up.
Yeah.
Whoops.
So,
Well, that game is. Well, we can talk about that another.
we can talk about it another day, and
We can talk
I might
about
not
it.
even do that, because it's like, it's just a violent thing. And I don't know like what I can get away with yet.
Yeah.
So
we can talk about that.
I'll try to not sound racist on my next playthrough.
Well, I mean, that game, it kind of plays with that stereotype a little bit.
Okay,
so.
but yeah, yeah. Check us out, Tampa Bay Comic Con. Check out the Kickstarter for Pseudo Man. It is very interesting, very unique. Other than that, did I forget anything, Curtis?
I don't think
Did I
so.
forget anything, Clegg?
I think you're good to go, bud.
Sweet. All right, I have been Chase for Curtis Coe and Daniel Clegg. I am Chase Bunker. Have a great rest of your week, and we will talk to you guys next time.
Bye-bye.
Take care now.